All right, folks, this one is long overdue, and I apologize for not sharing these earlier. I get the question all the time on podcasts, John, what are the most deadly mistakes people make with their money? So, without further ado, I'm going to lay them out in a 7-part series, and you will not want to miss these. I'm John MacGregor, the host of Wired for Wealth, guiding you to achieve lasting financial freedom and peace of mind. I want to be your antidote to your financial struggles. My goal is to help you think better so you can do better, so you can feel better about your financial life. So if you're like me and a zillion other people around the world, you've probably heard of the 7 deadly sins, right? These deadly sins are envy, greed, sloth, gluttony, pride, lust, and wrath. And according to this religious belief system, when you are wrapped up in any one or more of these deadly sins, it will lead to your spiritual death. Now, whether or not you subscribe to this manner of belief or not, it's interesting to me as a financial coach and mentor. Because when we step back and we evaluate the decisions many of us make in our lives, we can actually find a lot of similarities. Now, while your pride or greed isn't likely going to lead to your imminent death, in my many years of working with thousands of people, these sins can and will cause tremendous harm and challenges in your life, from work and relationships, and yes, to your finances. There are numerous challenges we all face in life, right? Most of them are ultimately wrapped up in our finances. I mean, did you know that the leading cause of our most lethal and damaging medical issues is directly related to stress? I mean, stress increases the risk of heart attacks and strokes and aneurysms, cancer, diabetes, anxiety, insomnia, and so much more. And did you also know that financial stress is the #1 form of stress? So money and stress are directly linked. And when you consider that 78% of people are living paycheck to paycheck, I mean, that means over 3/4 of the population is dealing with stress. And not just stress that comes and goes, right? This is prolonged stress that stays with you, sometimes 24/7. That's why I say this is a greater epidemic than all diseases combined. And almost all of us, regardless of how much we make, will face at some point in life, if you aren't right now, will face financial stress. And it doesn't matter if you were born into a millionaire's household, or you grew up in poverty, struggling to find enough food for the next day. It doesn't matter. Every single one of us faces stress due to our finances. And I have seen it all over the years. I've laughed with clients and their successes, and I've wept with them while they struggled to make sense of an unexpected financial disaster. I've encouraged and I've discouraged. And I've seen too many people struggle with debt, overwhelmed by the immense amount of excessive interest that they're paying. I've seen too many big mistakes and way too many little mistakes that piled up on top of one another over the years. I've watched countless people strain under constant, relentless pressure, trying to claw their way out from the darkness. They would follow one piece of advice after another, hoping things will work out, only to slip back into those old habits and routines once again, finding themselves in a far greater and deeper financial mess the next time around. Why is this happening? Because those courses and classes and tools and other financial experts offer a Band-Aid solution. They don't dig deep into the root cause of the problem. So, while you may shout for joy when you're debt-free after years of struggling, you're not out of the woods yet. Not by a long shot. Why? Because too many people quickly fall back into their old and destructive patterns. I detail this in my paradigm-shifting program called Thrive Path, where I empower you with the right process, the above-the-line process that will help change your life for good. In this brief series of videos, I want to highlight that you're not alone, and there are 7 key mistakes everyone, and I mean everyone, has made, at least one, that put them in the financial pain they're in at this moment, or I will say, will be soon. And I hope you watch these with an honest and open viewpoint, for that is the only way one can truly change, when they are honest with themselves. And let me suggest, do your friends, family, and colleagues a favor and pay it forward by sharing these videos with them. This really could help a lot of people. And if you're not doing any of these things right now, or you're just starting out in life, remember, these are dangerous pitfalls that far too many fall into, and they are financially deadly. So let's get into the first one. Mistake number one, spending more than you bring in. In other words, envy. We all know this, right? But yet most people cannot control their spending. The overwhelming majority of people have developed a devastating habit. They spend more than they bring in, period. This is made possible thanks to easy and quick credit card options. That's why, as I said earlier, almost 80% of people are living paycheck to paycheck. And I'm not talking about those just out of work, not at all. I'm talking about full-time working adults. That goes for the woman earning $42,000 a year, struggling to raise 2 children on her own, and the family bringing in $500,000 every year. The more we earn, the more we spend. I've seen this countless times. So what drives this pattern of overspending? Well, we could debate the underlying causes, but it really boils down to envy. If you lived in a location where everyone pretty much lived in the same basic house, ate the same kinds of food, and you weren't exposed to the multi-million-dollar marketing campaigns from major corporations, you probably wouldn't care that your car was a 10-year-old Ford, right? It wouldn't matter to you because everyone you knew had similar vehicles. And the mentality of, well, who cares? It runs. Why would I need anything more? But we don't live in that world, not by a long shot. Today, we are bombarded by ads, social media posts, and television programs, stocked with schools of celebrities all swimming around in high-end clothes and fancy cars and gorgeous homes and pearly white teeth and perfect skin, right? We envy those people on TV, in the movies, on billboards, and in commercials, and through Facebook and Instagram and Snapchat and a host of other social media platforms. We see only the best, the happiest, the coolest posts from our friends, neighbors, strangers, and family, and people we sort of knew in high school. All those posts make it seem as though everyone is doing mountains better than you are, right? I mean, we're given this constant, unrelenting message that your life isn't good enough because you don't have this or that. Winter's coming. Well, what about that new designer jacket you saw a model wearing in a magazine? Well, you won't look cool without it. I mean, who cares if it actually keeps you warm? It's style. You think to yourself that your house is old, the kitchen's ugly. Hey, I only have 3 bedrooms, and your friend is now boasting about her new 5-bedroom castle. With interest rates this low, what are you waiting for, right? These traps we fall into. You don't have any kids. You're not even married. What does that matter? It's cool to have a big, oversized house. It tells the world around you that yes, you are successful. And that's what matters, despite the consequences these purchases will have on your future. So, let's flip it around. What if you're not spending more than you bring in, right? Well, that's fantastic. But what if you're not saving anything either? What if you're spending only what you earn? Well, that's not good either. But you say, John, I contribute to my retirement account. Well, that's great and I commend you for it. But again, as you'll notice later in this series of videos, having a retirement account or a government-sponsored pension or even a company pension isn't good enough for your future. Not even close. If you are spending almost all that you bring in every paycheck, you may, and I emphasize may, be living beyond your means. Could you downsize your house perhaps? Maybe change neighborhoods? Or did you just trade in a decent car with only a few more payments left for a brand new luxury vehicle? Sure, you can own those things, of course. But if the cost of these things leaves you with nothing or next to nothing left over each paycheck, you're essentially spending more than you bring in. You might not be diving deeper into debt, but you're missing the effect the growth of your investments have. Think about this example. A perfect example. Let's compare Carol and Bob. Both are 30 years old, right? Carol begins saving $100 per month in her retirement plan at the age of 30 and stops contributing at the age of 40. Over that 10-year time period, she put away $12,000, right? $1,200 per year for 10 years. Bob, on the other hand, he waits until he's 40 and he saves the same amount of money, $100 per month. But this time, he does it for 15 years, 5 years longer than Carol. In this case, he put away $18,000. They both had the exact same 8% rate of return on their investments. So let me ask you, whose nest egg is larger at the age of 55? Now remember, Carol put away $12,000, Bob waited 10 years, but he put away $18,000. Take a moment and write your answer in the chat. And feel free to pause this if you need to. Go ahead. All right, you ready? At the age of 55, Bob had $35,189. And did you know what Carol had? And remember, again, she put away $6,000 less than Bob. Carol ended up with $94,747. That's a $63,000 difference. I mean, that is a massive difference. How is this even possible? Well, it boils down to the fact that Carol started earlier and had the benefit of compounding growth earlier than Bob. Do you see where I'm going with this? I think you do. The cost of waiting can be absolutely dramatic, and your decisions you make today will have a massive impact on how you live your life tomorrow. When it comes to your future and your future financial life, in other words, your dream to retire one day comfortably, time is not on your side. Every single day that you wait is one more day lost. That's why getting your spending under control now is absolutely critical, because it's very hard to make up for lost time. Remember, this is about your financial future, and it has nothing to do with how good you look to your neighbors or your friends on Facebook. Nothing to do with that. Forget what other people think and focus on what's important to you and your future, and make it a priority. And I'll just wrap up there. I hope that opened your eyes a bit and made you think about your current lifestyle versus what it could be in the future. I've got a ton of free downloads on my website that you can download today immediately to start your journey to financial freedom and peace of mind. And I will say it is never too late to start your journey to financial freedom and peace of mind. You have the power, the greatest power, and that's the power to choose. And your financial future is not a matter of chance, it's a matter of choice. It's your choice, and it's not something to be waited for, it's something for you to go out and get. Also, just a reminder, we've launched our online program called Thrive Path, the revolutionary process to your financial freedom and peace of mind. It is a game changer. It is the missing link that all other programs miss. It's a paradigm shift and really how to get your financial life in order and get you headed in the direction that you want to head so you can live the rich life you deserve. With that, hit subscribe because you don't want to miss the next 6 videos in this series. It's super important. Leave a comment. Love to hear what you're thinking. If there are any other mistakes, please throw them in the comment. Love to see those as well. We'll see you next time. Take care. Upward and onward. Bye-bye.